Welcome to Curiosity Gaming. This is your host, Rebel Weasel. When last we left our hero, she had decided to start doing some quests inside the city of Solitude. We're pretty much gonna wander around and just see if we can find any quests. There are some in this direction.
Hold up there, youngblood. About time I found someone whose spine wasn't bent with age or cowardice. There's trouble on the horizon. Dark clouds are gathering over the Western Kingdom. Harrowstorms, they're called. The conjurings of Reachman witchcraft. Unfortunately, there are more reports of these unholy storms than folk willing to brave them.
How can I help?
What the Swords of Solitude needs is a group of volunteers with the guts to wade into a few of these Harrowstorms and stop the accursed witchwork that is causing these fell winds to blow.
I'll gather some forces and deal with these Harrowstorms. So, where are Harrowstorms? These little tornado symbols here. And there's one downstairs too. And one down here. And one over here. Which one should we go to? Well, I think we go this way. Nope.
You put too much stock in rumors and old wives' tales.
I don't think we're the first to camp here. Lots of fresh tracks.
Allow yourself some rest. The Divines are watching over us.
There's not a thing in Skyrim that can scare me.
There's plenty of room, if you're looking for a place to rest.
Have you been through here before? Might explain the tracks I found.
It looks like we wait. What's this yellow light over here? A crystal.
It's too quiet. I came out here for adventure, not a leisure
I think
hike.
the clouds are turning. We should prepare for a stormy night.
Have a little faith. The Divines won't lead us astray.
Oh, I think it's starting.
What's all this scratching in the dirt? Reachman?
The skies are full of dark clouds lately. I don't like it.
Who's afraid of some dark clouds?
I hear someone coming. Be on your guard.
What was it?
Reachman? Here?
The storm has not stripped you of your soul. We'll coax it from you yet. Loss of one pike will not dispel this ritual. Enough of your meddling. Your end is nigh. A meaningless victory. You've destroyed one of hundreds. Your struggle is doomed to failure.
We did it! Harrowstorm Disruptor. Harrowstorm Soul Slayer. Level 11. On Harrowstorms. This is the one I want to read. By Fenorian of House Ravenwatch. Oh, so he's the one who wrote this. These notes will one day become a treatise on the subject of Harrowstorms and the magic behind it, provided I find the time to eventually turn them into something of publishable quality. Harrowstorms are arcane weather events created from a mix of Icereach Coven magic and ancient vampiric alchemy. They strike without warning, leaving death and worse in their wake. I have seen the devastation left behind by these supernatural storms. The forces called forth can kill or transform the living caught within them into near mindless shells we've come to call the harrowed. Though some become a new kind of feral vampire we now refer to as harrow fiends. Of course, not everyone exposed to the storms suffers from one of these afflictions, but I have yet to determine any rhyme or reason as to who dies, who transforms, and who walks away unscathed. As I continue my research into the phenomenon, I can say with some certainty that the Harrowstorms are created via some sort of reach magic ritual. The ritual uses various arcane components, including some sort of fetish or totem, and an alchemical mixture, in addition to a ritualistic chant to focus and unleash the magic. I still have no idea whether the resulting afflictions represent the ultimate goal of the Harrowstorms, or if they are just an unfortunate result of some more insidious purpose. Nor do I know for certainty who is behind the supernatural events. More research is required to determine how the storms go about killing or transforming their victims, and whether or not there may be a way to restore what was taken from them. Time will tell. So now we wait. Oh, the red mist is coming.
It's too quiet. I came out here for adventure, not a leisure hike.
I think the clouds are turning. We should prepare for a stormy
I
night.
think this place might have had some religious significance once. What's all this scratching in the dirt? Reachman? Who's afraid of some dark clouds?
The skies are full of dark
I
clouds.
fear no witch.
Don't like
Divines,
it.
help us!
You can die knowing you will serve a greater purpose. Is that what you call triumph? Broken branches and snapped twigs? Initiate the exchange! Your attack. Another pike falls, but you. There will be other storms. You won't live to see them. The reliquary! No! There will be a price paid for this.
Nice! Once again, we've completed it. Now we wait for one more time, and then we've completed this daily quest. Let's see what other books we can look at. What is Pride Home about? Okay. Solitude Bedtime Stories. Nicholas and the Snowy Saber Cat. One day, a young boy named Nicholas went out to do some ice fishing. He walked very far as he walked. And as he walked, a storm blew up around him. One moment. There we go. Soon, the snow was falling too heavily for Nicholas to see. He decided to wait out the blizzard in a nearby cave. While he waited, he heard a deep growl, and a snowy saber cat emerged from the white fog of the storm. It gave a mighty roar and entered the cave. Nicholas was terrified. He had no weapons capable of fighting such a mighty beast. He braced himself for an attack as the cat roared and growled. Then Nicholas noticed the snowy saber cat was limping. When he looked closer, he saw a large thorn in the cat's paw. Gathering all of his courage, instead of running from the beast, he moved closer and extracted the thorn. The snowy saber cat roared in pain, but then relief swept through it as the agony receded. The thankful cat licked Nicholas's face and hands and then curled up beside him. Later, when the storm was still too dangerous for Nicholas to venture out, the cat left and brought back game for the two to share in the warmth and safety of the cave. When the storm cleared, Nicholas and the cat emerged from the cave. From then on, they traveled together and remained lifelong friends. Never talk to strangers. Never talk to Reachmen, they'll eat you in the night. Never talk to Easterners, they only want to fight. Don't say hello to orcs, they always seem to smell. Don't say hello to Redguards, all they do is curse and yell. Never speak with elves, they are aloof and brusque and very rude. Never speak with Imperials, they only want to share their foul mood. Don't make friends with Argonians, they're cold and wet and slimy. Don't make friends with Khajiit, they'll take anything that's shiny. Never talk to Bretons, they're just as bad as elves. Never talk to strangers. We Nords must keep to ourselves. The Jarl's new robes. There once was a Jarl who was incredibly vain. He loved his fine clothes more than anything in the world, and often neglected his duties in favor of finding and purchasing new outfits. One day, two scheming criminals calling themselves tailors made their way to the hold. They told the Jarl that if they could weave him exquisite clothes in the most beautiful colors and designs. The clothes they made were so spectacular, in fact, that they would be invisible to both fools and anyone unfit for the position they held. The Jarl insisted that the tailors make him a fine outfit as quickly as possible, one fit for a Jarl. He paid them handsomely, and the two of them set to work. In reality, the tailors did no work at all. They asked for splendid materials like silver weave and spider silk, but merely took them for themselves and continued to pretend they were hard at work. They asked for sweet rolls and pies, and slept in lavish beds in the Jarl's longhouse while they pretended to toil away. Eventually, the Jarl asked how his clothes were coming along. He sent his housecarl to check on the tailors. When the housecarl arrived, the tailors were working at empty tables. She wondered how this could be possible. The tailors asked if she liked the clothes and if she thought the colors were beautiful. The housecarl remembered that only fools and those unfit for their post could not see the clothes. She did not think herself either, so she lied, and she told the tailors that the clothes were the most beautiful she'd ever seen. She reported back to the Jarl and assured him that the clothes were fine indeed. The Jarl sent the court mage and his steward to check as well, and the two of them saw nothing either but pretended that they did. They assured the Jarl the outfit was spectacular. Soon the tailors announced their work was complete. The Jarl went to see for himself. When he arrived, he was shocked to find he saw nothing at all. The tailors displayed the empty table and asked him if he was pleased with the result. Did he like the design? The breathtaking colors? The Jarl, too afraid to admit the truth, told the tailors that he adored the clothes and would wear them straight away. He undressed and let the tailors pantomime the act of putting his new clothes on him. They were meticulous and even secured the imaginary robe around his neck before they finished. Then he called in his retinue to admire his new clothes. Each of them were surprised to see the Jarl standing as naked as a horker before them, but all of them were too ashamed to admit this. Instead, they fawned over his clothes, and they all agreed that they were exquisite. The tailors insisted that the Jarl go out into the hold and display his new clothes for his people, so he did just that. He proudly marched down the road as his people gathered. They all saw he was naked, but were too afraid to admit it, lest they be called fools, or worse. It wasn't until a child stepped out of the crowd and boldly exclaimed, "The Jarl is naked!" did the crowd stop pretending. They began to laugh and point. The Jarl, mortified, ran back to his longhouse, but the two so-called tailors were already gone. So the Jarl instead punished his housecarl, court mage, and steward for their failure to stop the Jarl from making a fool of himself. He chopped off their heads personally and with a very real and solid axe. Oh gosh, that's unfair. That's really unfair. Well, we're still waiting for the third Harrowstorm to pop. It shouldn't be very long now. Here it comes. It's time for our third Harrowstorm.
It's too quiet. I came out here for adventure, not a
I
leisure
don't think
hike.
you're the first to camp here. Lots of fresh tracks.
Have a little faith. The divines won't lead us astray.
What's all this scratching in the dirt? Reachman? Who's afraid of some dark clouds?
I think the clouds are
Not
turning.
another step closer.
We should prepare for a stormy night.
Yes! Rage against the storm! Let your vigor seep away and join our great harvest! Were you expecting something more for your efforts than splinters and pain? Did that give you a... You shall not claim the Grey Reliquary. Oblivion will take you first. For every Harrowstorm you stop, we will summon a dozen more.
And that's it. That's our third Harrowstorm. Let's go turn in the quest. We have to figure out how to get out of here. I guess we just follow everybody else. Solitude. Let's turn in the quest for doing the Harrowstorms. Swordmaster, here she is.
All's quiet in Solitude. What about the rest of the holds?
I disrupted the Harrowstorms as you asked.
Of course you did, young blood. I never had a doubt. You've earned your reward and some rest. I expect to see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed when these coven witches rear their ugly heads again.
Ta-da! We're gonna end it right there. Thank you for joining me on Curiosity Gameplay with Rebel Weasel. If you have a chance, please click that like or follow button. And we'll see you next time.